lime pie with real key limes, or you can use other limes. In this video, I'm going to do a taste test, and let's find out the difference between the taste of the key lime, which is traditional, and the Mexican lime, okay? So here we go. We start with our crust, which is butter and graham crackers. Then the filling for our pie is limes, sweetened condensed milk, and then we top it with homemade whipped cream. Okay, to make the crust, I put 10 graham crackers in a double Ziploc bag. I'm going to crush these up. Take the air out. And you can start it with your hands. But I get to the heavy-duty action with my rolling pin. It just goes faster that way. I'm going to want these pretty finely crushed. That just took 30 seconds. And so now we're going to pour this into a bowl. And we're going to add our stick of butter that's been softened. That's 1/2 cup. This is completely at room temperature. And so we mix it together because I want it to get to be a crumbly crust that'll stick together so it can go in my pan. And so when you see it's pretty blended and it starts sticking together, you know you got some action here. That's going to go straight into my springform pan. But you know what? If you just have a pie pan, that's fine, or a tart pan. It doesn't matter. There we go. And now with the back of the spatula, I'm going to press it in there. When it starts getting mushed in there, I like to use like the bottom of a cup or a bowl to get it really flat. So when this gets cold, it's going to firm up really nicely and make a beautiful crust for cutting. And wedge that crust in the corners to go slightly up the sides of your pan. That's what your finished crust should look like. So let's talk about those key limes. Key limes are grown in the Keys of the United States. And here they are. They're really small. But Mexican limes, which are easier to get, are from Mexico. And this is a variety called Mexican limes. I actually grow it in my backyard, but my darn tree doesn't do very well. So I got to go buy it at the grocery store. Let's zest our limes. So here's my handy dandy zester, and let me tell you something about zesting. Just get the green part. Don't do too much. If you get that white part, the pith, what happens is it gets very bitter. So I'm pretty light touch when I zest. So to get 1 tablespoon of key lime zest, it's 6 key limes. I've done the math. What we need to do is to get 1/2 cup of the juice. So this is how I crush my limes. And it looks as if there's about 1 tablespoon coming out per key lime. Another method for juicing is to take a fork, stick the fork in, and twist. Now, this way you're going to get your seeds, you just have to strain it. Let's do our taste test. In this corner we have the key limes. In this corner we have the Mexican limes. I'm going to put just a touch of the key lime juice here, about a tiny pinch of the lime, and in this bowl the same. A touch of the Mexican lime juice, a touch of the Mexican lime zest. I'm going to now take like 1/2 teaspoon of the sweetened condensed milk because I don't want to mess up my recipe, so I'm just doing a tiny quantity here. Now another 1/2 teaspoon into the Mexican lime dish. Give that a stir. Okay, this is key lime. Well, it's delicious. The lime taste is great. It's really not too tart. Okay, now let's go Mexican. It's delicious too. You know what? The Mexican lime tastes a little more limey to me than the key lime. So it's just a little more citrusy, a teensy bit more acidic. I think it has maybe a little bit more wow of a flavor. So you know what? I don't think there's too much difference, and it's close enough for government work. So whatever you want to do, you want to do authentic key limes, have at it, or Mexican limes, I'm good with that. They're both beautiful, they're both refreshing. It took me quite a bit of time to squeeze and zest about 20 key limes. to make my half a cup of juice. So the Mexican limes are going to be a lot faster. For our pie filling, I have strained my juice to make sure no seeds got into it because a bite of seed is so bitter. I hate it. So I pour my half a cup of lime juice in my bowl. I prefer freshly squeezed. There's just no comparison, I think. It's worth the time and trouble. Here goes my 1 tablespoon of key lime zest into that. And now, this is what makes it no bake. This is the sweetened condensed milk, and in it goes. On a hot summer day, this is the way to make a pie. Let's try that. Oh my gosh, it's awesome. Oh my gosh, that's going to be so good. It's pretty tart, yet sweet. And I'm going to pour it in here, and then I'm going to add my homemade whipped cream topping. And I have that on another video, so watch that. And I really want to know your opinions on what you think about this key lime versus normal Mexican limes you get in the grocery store. Let me know what you think. Does it matter or doesn't it? I read all my comments and I respond to them, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. Let's flatten that out. For this recipe, I think it's really essential to have homemade whipped cream because it smooths out that tartness of the lime. So I've doubled my recipe of the one I have. This is 2 cups of whipped cream, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm going to whip that up. That just takes 60 seconds. To save money, I will buy that cream at those warehouse discount stores because that's one of the most expensive ingredients in this dish. Make sure your whipped cream is really thick because you want it to stay put on that pie. And the recipe made with 2 cups of whipping cream is perfect for this pie. Smooth it out on top. Oh my gosh. Now, I like to make sure my food looks a little homemade because I just think it's more charming that way. So I don't overwork stuff. That's it. Now time to top it. This is the fun part. Bring out the artist in you. I want everybody to know that inside of this, there are key limes. So I'm happy to put my little key limes on top. Now there's my art project for the day. Now, this is going to go in the fridge between 2 to 3 hours, and then we're going to cut it and eat it. It's been 2.5 hours. It is ready to go. Let's check this out. On the springform pan, you just got to flip the switch. Whoa, that worked. Alrighty, so put this down. Oh, it turned out beautiful. Okay, time to slice it now. If you make this pie, let me know. Tell me if you like that key lime taste, and if you make it with those Mexican limes, let me know that too. Okay, the moment of truth. Now, my comment is, that is so beautifully tart and sweet on the bottom. I needed that nice layer of whipped cream to balance it out. This is fantastic. And it's better than any restaurant I've ever been to in my life, and I'm not kidding. So make one of these homemade for you, your family, and your friends. Bon appetit. So click subscribe, and let's keep cooking together.